Hey everybody, Lady Cheryl here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I hope you'll like and learn something in this video and that you will subscribe and turn on the notification button so that you will know when my videos first come out. If you know somebody who has health challenges, I have a heart condition, I have thyroid disease, I'm on the last stage of kidney disease. I got a lot of stuff wrong with me, guys, but I keep moving. So share this video if you want to help me reach more people. Okay guys, it's going to be 100 degrees today, which will give me a heat index between 105 and 107. So you can see I pulled up, let me show you over here. I pulled up some of the green things that got scorched because this area is the only area that didn't have any shade on it. So right now you can see I got the bamboo sticks in here and I got my little clips. I got my shade cloth right down here. Here is some parsley I pulled up. That was, let me show you, in that pot right there. It's gonna come back because it's getting shaded. And I'll be back when I show you the final shade cloth. Guys, I am done for now. You can see my shade cloth is up. And I left this side open because I have an umbrella on the patio and it will extend over here. And I think this is enough. Yeah, I think everything is going to be okay. I'll let you know in a few days. If you ever want to see what squash vine borer does to your plant, you can see those little worms right there. They've been eating the vines from the inside out. This is my butternut squash. It's the last squash I still have growing, and I wanted to try to grow it until these squashes reach maturity. And there's a really nice one all the way over here, and I suspect we got some damage to it. And so I'm going to harvest everything today and pull it up. Yep, it's getting too hot and they're on the prowl. It's probably all through here. Where you see yellowing, you will find evidence of the squash vine borer, but that's okay. This squash has been growing outside since March. I'm gonna harvest what I can. I wanted to show you that we could have gotten more if we could have prevented that squash vine borer. I did everything that I could using the BT, injecting it, watching it very carefully, but it got me anyway. This butternut squash is small, and now you see why. You see the rimlets right there. And where it ate up the vines, those long stems. And that's what was slowing down its growth. But that's okay. This is the first time I've had the squash vine borer to attack butternut squash. But it attacked the squash that was next to it, the crookneck and the black beauty zucchini, which is a squash. And so it had nothing else to feast on, so it moved on over to this plant. Now this is a nice size squash, guys, but look at here. It was getting ready. Let me focus a little bit better. See that worm? That's the borer. There we go. It was getting ready to crash because it's already infiltrated the stem right here. But that's okay. This will not go in the compost. This will be dealt with. Yeah, I'm going to kill these bad boys. Okay, guys, it is going to be 101 today with a heat index of 107 degrees. I want to show you the shade cloth is all the way on as much as I could, but check that out right there. Bam, that's the datura bush-type moonflower, where I didn't put the shade all the way over it because I saw some blooms. So a pleasant surprise this morning for me to see. I'm gonna go around here and let you see that I have the openings here and on the other side right in there so that the bees can come through. And I'm proud of the okra that I shaded the other day. It's looking good. Here is the 25-gallon container that I pulled up and harvested all of the butternut squash. And this one had the crookneck squash earlier in the summer. And you can see I have okra plant growing in it. I have 4 okra plants and some beans growing in this one where I had the black beauty zucchini squash. I treated these 2 with BT several times. And guys, you know I don't use anything in my garden if it's not organic. And this is what I use, the Monterey BT. And anytime you see OMRI, that lets you know that it is organically made or made from organic ingredients. And despite me treating these two beds and this one, I still got squash vine borers here in the butternut squash bed. So today I'm going to treat this 25-gallon container and this 25-gallon container. And tomorrow I'm going to plant some seeds. I hope you can guess what the seeds are going to be. I'm going to treat it again with an organic product. And you see where it says OMRI right there at the left-hand corner. It's organic, it's safe to use even up to a day or two before you harvest. It will not kill bees, it will not kill butterflies or birds. It will only kill the non-beneficial insects. In this case, I wanted to make sure, even though I kind of raked through here to see if there were any more squash vine borer worms. You can never be too careful, so I'm going to treat this bed. I keep saying bed, but guys, you know, I mean 25-gallon container. And this 25-gallon container, and it's going to be over 100 degrees today. So the surface where the seeds are going to be placed tomorrow will be completely dried out. And I'll come back and show you what I'm going to plant. And I want you to guess, just for your own enjoyment. But remember, I'm going to have this okra growing in this pot. So whatever I plant, it has to be able to be compatible with growing okra. The safer soap calls for you to put about 2.5 ounces in a gallon of water. And that's what I did inside of this watering can. And so I mixed it up real good. You can see it's a little cloudy. And I'm going to just slowly drench these two 25-gallon pots. And let me share this with you. When I say I have an organic garden, what I mean by that is whatever I put in my garden after I purchased the potting mix, it's organic products only, because some potting mix and garden soils have some chemical fertilizers in there, and it has gotten so expensive as opposed to how much things used to cost. So if Miracle Grow is on sale, I'm gonna buy it, okay? But after I mix it in with my homemade compost and perlite for drainage, then I don't put any other chemicals in my garden. Okay, so now I'm just gonna drench these two containers. So I'm just gonna pour it real as slow as I can. Mind you, I'm holding this with my left hand and filming with my right. And I'm gonna let it settle a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back and do it again. And it's not gonna bother that okra plant that you see right here. And then I'll come back tomorrow and I'm gonna show you what seeds I'm gonna plant in these two containers. It is Monday, July 28th, and we're gonna have another very hot day in Mesquite, Texas. It's gonna be over 100 degrees. I wanna show you an update on my tomato seedlings that I'm growing for my fall and winter garden. Yes, I said winter because we have a long growing season. We're not expecting any freezes until December. So since this is the end of July, I've got August, September, October, and actually November, about 120 days to grow these tomatoes before we get a freeze. Now, if you remember when I first started these seedlings, I said that I only wanted to put 6 of them outside. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take one of the celebrity tomatoes, one of the aromas, and one of the beefsteaks, the one that looked the weakest, and I'm going to put them outside under the shade cloth as an experiment to see if they would continue to grow well in 100+ degree temperatures. But remember, if they die, it's okay, because I will have my backups growing inside until the temperatures get cooler. Actually, I'm not going to transplant them. I'm just going to put them in pots inside of the cups, and you can look here and you can see I've been watering them from the bottom, and they absorb the water from the bottom up to keep fungus gnats out of my room. Here are the 6 that I'm going to keep inside, and I want to share with you that I had to remove one of the containers here because the tomatoes were touching the light up there, so I had to drop it down a little bit. For my new gardeners, I just want to emphasize that you can't let the plants touch the light. They should be at least 2 inches from the light, and the taller the plants are, the more you can move them away from the light. They look real good. They look a little lighter because of this illumination of the light, but when you go close up on them, you can see they're very green. Outside now, and I got my beautiful grand angel Bria videotaping for me. Thank you, Bria. And what we're going to do is we're going to put one of these seedlings you got down here, Bria. This is the Roma. It's the biggest one. And here is the beefsteak. I'm going to dig a little hole. Can you get that right in there? I'm going to dig a little frog right there, guys. You see him? We don't kill our frogs. You got it, baby? Yeah. We don't kill them because we know what they eat, the ants and things like that. So we're not going to bother them. And I'm just going to dig a little hole, and I'm going to put this down in here. I brought out seedlings early in the summer, but I haven't brought them out when it was 100 degrees. The little runt, the beefsteak one, okay? Now, I got over here, I think I want you to go outside of the tent, raise up the shade cloth. Go out there, baby. And see if you can raise it up. You can get up under there, baby, because we're going to put this one right here. Okay, you might have to squat down a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to dig a little soil around here. And this is the Celebrity. It is heat tolerant, so I'm not too much worried about that one. And we'll transplant them later. Pushing it way down in there. Good job. This is my Roma tomato. These are the paste tomatoes that your dad requested that I grow. Okay? I did this especially for my son-in-law, your father. And I'm just going to push it down and firm the soil around it so it won't go anywhere. And then I'm going to put the shade cloth back on it. So all of the 3 tomato seedlings that I transplanted outside, remember, they're under the shade cloth, and they will have the opportunity to have a fan on them. Now, I'm going to plant some more seeds today where I had my squash. Remember? Yesterday, I told you guys that I would like for you to guess. I'm wondering if any of you guessed that it's going to be golden bantam corn. It's a sweet corn. I like to grow this corn. I haven't grown it since I've been at this location for 3 years. However, the reason why I stopped growing it is because I have a smaller space now, and also corn is pretty inexpensive. And for those of you that know that I have kidney disease, I can't eat a lot of corn, so I'm growing this strictly for Bria and Brian and their mom and dad. And she's giving me the thumbs up. And I'm going to insert a picture of them. They look so cute going to church Sunday. I just had to stop and take a picture because Brian is now wearing his dad's suits. He has grown so much. So anyway, getting back to that, if you guessed corn, you were right. And I'm going to plant this corn. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this corn. This corn is very heat tolerant. It can produce up to 2 ears per corn stalk. And it grows well with okra. They're compatible because they grow vertically. So, in a 5-gallon container, it is advisable that you use 4 or 5 seeds. This is 25, so we're going to go 5 times 5, right? Mm-hmm. That's 25. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you said 5 times 5.
So I'm only going to put 20 seeds. And I don't pre-soak them or anything. You see them, Bria? And I'm gonna thin them out later, guys. So I'm just gonna randomly put them in here. And I'm not gonna cover them up.
Those look like individual corns.
They are. They're like the corn that you pop.
Okay, they also kind of look like popcorn.
Yeah, but that's what popcorn seeds are. Dried up corn. Okay. You didn't know that?
Not really. Oh wait, yes, I did.
Yeah, you did. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
let's stop with 20.
Okay.
And I'm only going to put 16 over here, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here around the edges and pick up some soil and just cover all of the corn up. They only need to go down about a half an inch. I'm not going to show you this, so I don't waste time, but I'm going to put 15 seeds over here. I'm going to conclude this video, but I want you to see that all the areas in the garden, I have green beans growing. And if you zoom in right here, Bria, you'll see this is about the size of them that I like to harvest them. I don't like them real big. I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna harvest the beans out of all the containers, and I'll show you at the end of the video what they look like.
Hey everybody, it's Bree here, and I just wanted to show you this harvest. I know it's small, but we get harvests every day.
All right, thank you, Bria. I want to say thank you for watching. You know I love you, and God loves you too. Bye now.